for that too this month. All right. Every October. All right, we're going to, this week is every sin has its origin in our hearts. You can read through the different lessons that we have here. They're for you to read all week and go over. And if you have any questions about any of those, write down the questions and then bring them back on Friday nights or talk about them during small group too. But we're going to be on page 5, a little different lesson. Sometimes we'll have Bible lessons, and then sometimes we'll have a little more practical lessons, even though the Bible is practical and we can put them together. This one is Roadblocks to Failure. Roadblocks to Failure. Keep these roadblocks up and you won't reach failure. Now, nobody starts out their life saying, I want to fail. You ask little kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? Fireman. You know, I used to say newspaper writer. I wanted to write in the newspaper. And then after a while, I changed it to President of the United States. Big jump, but I mean, we all have big dreams as children. Not many of them say, I want to just make it in life where I'm living off my mom and dad at 40, or, you know, I can't wait till I'm on Social Security for 30, 40 years. Nobody says that. When you first get married, young couples, when they first get married, none of them say, I hope to file bankruptcy 2 or 3 times in my life. No, they say, we want the house and the kids and 2 cars, don't you? No one plans for failure. Guys, I want to tell you, failure is just as common as success. You're just as likely to fail as you are to succeed. You should plan. Make plans of what you're going to do if you fail. I'm writing a booklet right now, what to do when you fail. You failed, now what? Failure is a part of life. And we don't want to plan for it, nor do we want to take precautions for it. And so we're going to talk about roadblocks, things you can do to make it more difficult to fail in life. If you can do these things, you'll be successful. Now, what have we said before what success is? True success is what? Money in the bank? No, happiness. Being happy. I always tell my kids, if you're happy with your job, you know, I don't care how much it makes. Because I've made a lot of money and been miserable. Be happy. Be happy with your job, be happy in your life. And these are the things to promote happiness or success instead of failure. Number 1, and we'll kind of go over these. You notice there's no Bible verses. I might hit some Bible verses as we go. But do not allow others to think for you, especially a man, but an adult. Don't let other people tell you how you think or what you think. And then don't allow people to make decisions for you. It's easy for me to make decisions for you. I don't have to live with what? Thank you. But so many times we try to make other people or have other people make the decision for us. I had a wife that wanted to get a timeshare. I'm not stupid. I know what timeshares are. They're just black holes for money. Didn't want to get the timeshare. Her reasoning for getting it was this doctor and his wife had a timeshare and they're not stupid people, so we should do it. That's a wrong way to think. That'll lead you to failure.
What is a timeshare?
Oh, that when you buy a part like 1/8 or 1/800th
1-800
of a house or a place, a vacation place, and You get to use it once a year, but trying to fill it up when you want to go and things like, I mean, it's just, and then you have to pay for upkeep. So every month, sometimes it's every year, depends on how you sign up, but every month you got to pay so much for the upkeep and being a part of that timeshare. And then there are people who never use them, but they keep paying every month. It's just money thrown away. It just is. Timeshares, unless you are Donald Trump, timeshares are not for us. Don't let other people think for you. Just because they seem successful and they've done this, or they say you should do this, think for yourself. When you go to church, don't leave your mind outside. Go to church and remember to think. When you go to any meeting, don't leave your mind at the door. Think. Think. Wherever you go, use this, what God has given you. Don't let other people tell you what you believe. Don't let other people make decisions for you or tell you how you think. By the way, that's how cults get started. When they allow somebody else to tell them what they think. Okay? Don't do that. That'll keep you away from failure. Now, people are easily manipulated. That's why we have commercials, right? They hold up this thing, and this is a wonder. Everyone needs to have this. And you see it on TV, and you say, what? Well, if everyone has one or everyone needs to have one, I guess I need one too. Used car salesman or new car salesman, they'll try, you want the warranty. By the way, that's how they make their real money, the warranties.
I'm bad about buying health food stuff over the
internet.
Seen on TV and
Yeah.
over the internet.
And stuff like that, yeah.
And then I get it and it doesn't work.
We do it. We allow ourselves to have other people think for us. I don't care if 9 out of 10 doctors recommend it, you find out first. By the way, people lie. When it comes to money, people lie. Think for yourself, find answers. I have a rule, this isn't on here, but I have well, it might be on here. I have a simple rule. If they tell me I have to make a decision now, I do not make it. The answer is no. It's very rarely have I regretted that. I had a car salesman one time says, well, what I got to do to put you in that car? I said, give it to me. He laughed, and I said, no, I'm serious. If you're going to put me in that car today, you're just going to have to give it to me. I still have 2 other cars I want to look at. I'm not going to buy your car right now. He didn't like me much, but I learned the hard way to have that thought. I have a rule too. If I'm going to buy a car or anything big like that, I wait 24 hours before I come back. I do. Because I bought a truck one time I couldn't afford. A guy told me what to think. Boy, you need this car. Told me all these things. I'm thinking, yeah, he's right. I wish I would have waited 24 hours.
Yeah,
Allow yourself to think for yourself.
I do that too.
Yep. Be a man. You live with the consequences of your decisions. Even though they may have manipulated you, you allowed it. Number 2, and you'll hear this a lot in RU because I believe in this. Go to bed and get out of bed the same time every day. Have a bedtime where you go to bed. Have a bedtime where you wake up every day. Even on Saturday and Sundays. You will be better mentally to face the world and make good decisions and get things done. You will get more things done in the day because you're not dragging, you're not needing 5 or 6 cups of coffee. You'll make it to work on time. So much of your life can be corrected if you go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time. Nothing good happens after midnight. They tell the NFL players that every year, and they're right. You should be home at midnight. What are you out for? What are you looking for after midnight? Be home. Be home with your wife. Be home with your kids. Wherever it is, wherever you live, be home. Not out there on the streets. And go to bed. You are responsible for you. Prove it by managing your life. And the best way to do that is have a good bedtime. I get up at 6 o'clock every day. I go to bed at 10 o'clock. Sometimes 9 o'clock because, I might have had a little rougher day. But anywhere between 9 and 10, anywhere in that time frame, I'm in bed, asleep. You call me at 10:05, you're probably either waking me up or I'm about to go to sleep. Ask anyone, I preach this, I live this. You'll have more energy, your thoughts would be better, go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time. Next one, do not spend more money than you can afford. If you don't have it, don't spend it. Don't. Well, I'll make it up or I'll do this. No. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for failure. Bible talks about being good stewards, being good managers of our money, of our things. Take care of your things. Take care of them. You got a car, take care of it. You have a house, take care of it. Be a good steward of what you have. It'll save you money if you take care of it. There's so many things that if we just did our responsibilities, that would protect us later on. I remember the old car commercial where you come in for a tune-up or you don't, and the guy used to say, either you pay me now, and he shows a little bit of cash, and then he shows a big pile of cash, and he says, or you pay me later. Okay? Take care of your things. By the way, God blesses you if you're thankful for what He's given you and you respect it. You got an old car, doors hardly open, but God gave that car to you. Be thankful for it, respect it, take care of it. You do that, God's like this. He says, you know what? He's happy with that car. I wonder how happy He would be if I blessed him with this car. See, you got to remember, God's our Father, right? And I've had this happen, if I give something to my children and they don't like it and they pout about it and they cry about it, am I apt to be excited to give them something else right away? No. No, I'm not. You don't even respect what I gave you now. God's the same way. You don't respect what He's given you now, He's not going to give you more or better. You're not thankful for how He's taking care of you now, He's not going to give you more or better. Set yourself up for failure if you spend more than you have. You just are. Next one. Do be polite to everyone, even those who do not deserve it. You'll be more successful in life.
That's a hard one.
The Bible says to love those that curse you, hit you, steal from you, call themselves your enemies. Love them. It's not easy, I know. But if we learn to be polite to everyone, especially those who don't deserve it, even at the moment they don't deserve it, you'll be more successful. I'll tell you this right now, especially guys, just because somebody calls you a name doesn't mean you have to call them a name back or you have to hit them or prove that you're a man somehow. Be polite. Anybody here ever saw Roadhouse? Remember that movie? And he said, well, you're taking them out the door. He's talking to the bouncers. He says what? Be polite. When they yell at you, be polite. The person who's in control of their emotions, control the situation, guys. The best way to control the situation is for you to be polite no matter what they do, no matter what they say. Don't let people control you that way. And you'll be more successful because people will see that. Even your enemies, the Bible says, will have to give you credit for being a loving, kind, gentle, polite person. Mean, rough, horrible people do not succeed in this life. Well, it may look like they're getting ahead at first, but what do we like to do with that kind of person? We like to take them down, don't we? They may move up to even be your boss. And they're mean, they're nasty, or horrible. People are just looking for a way to take them down, aren't they? But if you're kind and polite and gentle to people, it makes it a little more difficult to try to take you down.
It's kind of like today I went to a food pantry and the guy there called me sir and called everybody else.
Exactly.
That, and I can think it made me feel good.
It does.
But I've been in places where I've gone to get food and they treated you like crap, you know.
If you're going to run a business, be polite to everyone, even ones that don't deserve it. And there's customers who do not deserve it. Trust me, I've seen it. Be polite to everyone. You'll have a more successful business. You'll have a more successful life if you're polite to everyone. Be polite, even to those who don't deserve it. And there's people who don't. I'll admit that. The Bible talks about loving people who are unlovable. They're not worthy. But God's like this. He goes, I'll tell you what. All you have to do is love other people the way I love you. Well, how does God love me? Does He love me when I'm rotten? Does He love me when I don't deserve it? Does He love me when I cuss Him and use His name? Does He love me when I don't trust Him? The answer is yes. So we're to do the same. That's what we're supposed to be. So be polite to everyone. You'll be more successful in life. People see that. They recognize it. I've told people, and I've seen people have awesome customer service, and I said, if I were ever in a position to hire somebody again, if I ever get in that position, I'm looking you up. I mean it. I got their names on my tongue because I know they're polite. People notice. The next one, do not be the most important person in your relationships. That's not a relationship, by the way. Don't be the most important person in your relationships. If everything in your relationships is about you or how it affects you, you are going to have horrible relationships and you will have failure. The history shows us, okay, let's just do a broad thing here. You can only oppress people for so long. And what will they do? They rebel. Revolution after revolution has been years of oppression, and then people say, we've had enough. It might be the next generation, it might be the next two, but it will happen. Look at communist Russia. People thought that would last for how long? Ever. They had a stranglehold. They had control. No. Oppressed people rebel. You oppress your children. You oppress or push down your wife. You oppress people that you work with. And everything is about you. And that's what oppression is. They're not allowed to think unless they think like you. They're not allowed to do unless it benefits you. Everything's about you. They will rebel. And you will have failure. People like the king that thinks about the people, don't they? They'll follow them forever. Remember in the Bible, Solomon had died, and it was time for Solomon's son to reign. Now Solomon, even though he was a good man and a wise man, he was oppressive. He had high taxes. He expected the people to work and pay for these taxes. And so the people came to the new king, before he was made king, and said, "We'll follow you if you lower our taxes." He said, "I'll answer you tomorrow." He went back and he talked to his advisors, and the younger advisor said, "No, you got to show them you're the king. You tell them you're going to raise their taxes, and it's going to be harder on them than it was. Show them who's the king." And so that's what he did. He didn't listen to the older advisors who told him, "You lessen this, you lessen their taxes, and they'll love you and follow you for the rest of your life." He went back and he said, "You think my dad oppressed you? I'm going to be worse. I'm going to make your taxes worse. I'm going to oppress you more." And they said, "No, you're not, because you're not our king." And they left, because you can only oppress people so long.
They divided the kingdom.
Divided the kingdom 10-2. Learn not to be the most important person in a relationship. Learn to love and be kind and considerate. Any relationship, friendships, work, co-workers, whatever it may be, children, don't make the relationship all about you. Be considerate. Next one. Do write a to-do list every day. I do this. Every day I write down what I need to accomplish today. And then I scratch it off. There's so many reasons why. One reason is why, when you see you scratching it off, how do you do it, right? You feel what?
Feel
good.
Yeah, because I'm what? Accomplishing things. Maybe I had 6 things down and I got 4 of them done. Woo! I can just roll the other 2 over tomorrow. But I got 4 things done. So it's just the mental part, especially if you're struggling with depression and things. That's a very big help. I'm not a loser. Look at these 4 things I got done.
I do it about once a week.
Yeah. Always write down what you're going to do today. Another one. It directs where you're going to go for your day. The Bible says you're a fool if you go to battle or you go to build a house without a plan. So why do you go through your day without a plan? Now, there's things that happen that changes that, right? Things we don't, I might have 6 things written down. I go out to my car doesn't start. Change to my day, right? Forget the 4 or 5 things I got written down. Today is fix the car. But most days don't happen that way. And so you do not go after life. You just allow it to come to you. That is a recipe for failure. Every successful person knows what they're going to do with their day, knows what they're going to do with their month, knows what they're going to do for this quarter or the 6 months or this year. Plan out, have goals, have some direction in your life.
If you plan for nothing,
Yeah.
nothing's going to happen.
We'll talk later. Okay? So, instead of just drifting through life, put your sails up, get your oars out, and go after it. Have goals. Have plans. Yeah, you may have to correct them some. You may have to change them, but you have some direction in your life. Write down every day what I'm going to do today. Every 3 months, I evaluate. I have goals every year. At New Year's Eve, my son says I'm the worst person to be around New Year's Eve and New Year's Day because I'm planning. I look back at my life and where I was, and I want to see where I'm going to be, and I write down my plan for this year, my goals for this year, And then every 3 months, I evaluate where I am. Am I staying on target for my goal? Am I doing what I wanted to do with this year? That's how you are successful. Not too many things fall in your lap. You don't graduate from high school and all of a sudden, hey, we're going to make you an engineer. That just hardly ever happens. Hardly anybody after they graduate gets to work in dad's shop. They own some factory or something, or they own a car lot. Not too many of us have that, right? So we've got to make plans. We have to have direction. Know what you're doing with your day, your month, your year, your life. What is your life goal? Bible says you're a fool if you go to war or to build a house without plans. Don't be a fool. Don't be foolish. Listen to me. If I can't get anything besides the bedtime across to you, attack life. Don't let it just come to you. You go to it. Doesn't mean things don't change, but at least you're moving forward. Sometimes you need to move backwards. Movement is what you need. Standing and let things just coming to you, you're going nowhere. Who hasn't had to take a few steps back so they could go forward? A lot of us. I really can't afford this house. I really can't. I'm going to have to sell it, maybe go to an apartment, save some money, and let's do it over again. That's going what? Taking a few steps back so you can go forward. But you're making movement for progress. Don't let life just come to you. You go to it. We'll just hit 2 more and then we'll be done. Well, maybe. It's 7:30. We got 5 minutes, okay? Do not stop getting an education. Keep learning. Keep learning. Learn anything that somebody wants to teach you. Somebody says, hey, you want to learn how to change oil? Yes. You want to learn how to bake a cake? Yes, I do. At work, whenever they offer or they have any offers for certificates or anything like that, they already know to write me up. They already sign me up. I always say yes. Keep learning. You never know when. I never knew that I'd be an employment specialist when I started out in life. Never even thought of it. But over the years, all the different things I learned, when I put it in a resume, it comes out employment specialist. Boom. Get every certificate. Learn. If somebody wanted to teach me how to crochet, I tried. I cannot crochet. But I tried. Learn. Keep learning. Keep learning. Well, I'm 70 years old. So what? Keep your mind sharp. You never know when you'll have to use that knowledge, when you need it. There's so many useless things I can talk about with people. I can have conversations with just about anyone. They can bring it up. I've either read it on the internet, or I watched History Channel, or somebody's taught me that. I have a little bit of knowledge about so many things. Now, sometimes I can only talk for about 15 minutes, but it opens up your life to so many different things. Keep learning. Keep learning. Next one, and this is important. Do have fun every day. Have a hobby or something you like, or go with people out to eat, or make your mind up that I have fun every day. It could be playing with your kids, but have fun every day. Life is meant to enjoy. God didn't create you and say, I just want to see how miserable I can have them all. He did not. There are some things there's responsibilities we have to do, and we have to be serious about them, and we have to be serious most of the day, right? We just do. But find some fun time. It helps you relax. It helps your health. Helps keep your mind clear. Now, everybody has a different take on what's fun. Some like to go out and exercise or go to the gym, and that's fun to them. I think they're crazy, but that's fun to them. You know, fun to me, I like being around people and just joking and teasing, and especially my friends, and just to laugh a little. Do that. Good, clean fun is good for all of us. Have fun every day. And then the last one, and you guys can read through the rest, or if you want to when we have small group, if you see the list, you can ask me. But do not waste your natural talents. It's sad, isn't it? We see people and you say, you know what? They could have done this. They had the talent to do this and they just wasted it. If you're a singer, sing. I hate people like that. I've always wanted to be able to sing. And then you see people who can sing really well, and what do they do with it? Absolutely nothing. What a waste. Some people are good at math. I don't like those people either. I'm horrible at math. What do they do with it? Absolutely nothing. Do you know where those talents came from? Anybody know? God. The Bible tells us that God, there's a story of a man who gave people 10 talents, 5 talents, and 1 talent. And he gave it to them, and he said, I'll be back. And he left for a while, and he came back, and the guy who had 10 talents, he used the 10 talents and made 10 more. And then he came to the guy who had 5 talents, and he took the 5 talents and made 5 more talents, and he had 5 more. Then he came to the guy who gave 1 talent. Said, what did you do? I buried it. And the man was upset. He said, I gave you that talent to use for me. When I come back for you, I wanted to see what you did with it. God gave you your natural talents to be used, mostly to glorify Him. Don't waste them. And everyone knows what your talents are. Some is art. Some are speaking with people. Some is whatever, carpentry. Whatever it may be. Don't waste your talents. It'll lead to failure. You are who you are. Embrace it. Use it, and you'll be more successful. Because you're good at it. And you'll end up enjoying it more. Because you're good at it. Whatever it may be. Use the talents God gave you. Do not waste them, and you'll be successful. I read a quote the other day. I had to go to this conference, and it says, as long as you do one thing well, you'll always be needed. Now, some people can do more than one thing well, but as long as you can do one thing well, you'll always be needed. What is the one thing you do well? And don't waste it. Don't waste it. It's like the bird trying to be a frog. Doesn't work, does it? Be the bird. That's what you do well. And you'll be more successful. All right, we're going to take a 10-minute break.